I want to move to the next story, which is an article I read in Telegraph, which is a English newspaper, news organization in England, based out of the United Kingdom, which is the headline. I don't know exactly. I posted it earlier, but it was, they're trying to ban knives in England because knife crime is on the rise. So, we talk about guns and stuff here, and we say, gun stuff is on the rise because, people are losing it. But in England, they're having a real crisis where you could look at the charts where gun ownership and gun crime was going down, 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 and now gun crime and gun murder. I'm sorry, knife murder and knife crime was going down 2013, and then started going up, up, up. They're having a huge crisis where people are killing each other with knives at record paces in England. So, if you were intelligent, you'd look at parts of the world and be like, if knife crime is on the rise, and this is on the rise, maybe it's not the weapon, maybe it's like the ideology, and maybe it's the people. But that's what a smart person would do, and the mainstream media is everything but smart and intelligent and honest. So they continue to push this weird, we got to stop the weapon. So in England, what they're actually doing is they're trying to ban knives completely, and they're trying to dull down kitchen knives. They're trying to make sharp kitchen knives illegal. I'm not joking. This is a Telegraph article. A judge from the UK proposed. It's not official yet, but it will be and this is where I go into, it's like, I don't pick sides, but if you're going to ask me, hey, Anomaly, who do you think are keeping it realer today, like conservatives or liberals? I'm just going to be honest, conservatives times 10,000. No offense, I don't pick sides. I know conservatives can be wrong, they could be stubborn and whatnot, but liberals are so delusional. In England, this is like the leftist utopia. They say, free healthcare, Europe's got it so much better. Sweden and England and Germany and France, and they do what we don't do. It's like, yeah, but you say all of these beautiful ideological things of oh my God, everything's free and we're walking around, and it's just not true in England. Their leftist ideology is leading to complete delusion. They're arresting people for doing journalism. They're arresting and silencing people who are trying to bring up awareness to child rape. How much less liberal can you be? The guy's literally trying to be like, look, there's 27 people raping kids. Maybe the media should pay attention to this. Not only do they not cover that, but they arrest him and then stop people from talking about it. These are not liberals, folks. I'm a real liberal at heart. I'm who they think they are. They think they're peace, love, equality, and they love everybody. They're not. They're like totalitarian fascist extremists who want total information control. But they're proposing dulling kitchen knives, folks. This is really happening in England. This is a straight up article. You've had the mayor of London, and I'm going to keep covering it because it's so goofy, and I feel like they're 10 years ahead of us. This is what we're going to get if we elect a bunch of fake Democrats who have no solutions and no policies. They just yell, Planned Parenthood, and Trump is so bad, and they're going to defund Planned Parenthood. Vote for me because Trump is bad, Planned Parenthood's good, and racist, sexist, xenophobe. And then it's like, this is what you're going to get. Gun control, gun control. This is 10 years in the future in America if we don't smarten up, guys. This is if the youth gets brainwashed by a bunch of those little media plant kids who are like, oh, we're going to pass out in the parking lot or whatever. They're banning or proposing to ban kitchen knives, okay? This is just so goofy. They really think knife crime is on the rise. Why could knife crime be on the rise in the UK? Could it be the fact that, one, they have this delusional ideology that they're feeding the kids? They have no common sense, no self-accountability, no self-responsibility, and they revel in this idea that if you just blame everybody for everything that happens in your life and have a victim mentality and you hate England and you hate America, that somehow society's going to get better? Could that maybe be a problem? That all the kids are becoming brainwashed to be like, oh my God, I hate England, I hate America, I hate myself, I hate my skin color, I hate my religion, I hate everything. I love these people and I'm going to protect people who don't even like me and I'm going to do all this weird stuff. Hello, maybe that's why knife crime's going up. Maybe it has nothing to do with the fact that kitchen knives are too sharp. We've always had kitchen knives, so if your crime is going up, it's just basic math. It's probably not the kitchen knife. We've always had guns in America. If mass shooting's going up, it's probably not the inanimate object that somebody with a mental problem has to pick up. It's not the knife and it's not the gun. How much more obvious could it be? But in England, this is leftist liberal utopia. They're trying to dull kitchen knives because they think that that's going to stop the problem of stabbing people. Like, you can't find a sharp object. They really think they're going to remove every sharp kitchen knife so you can't cut your tomatoes, but people are going to stop stabbing each other. Bad people do bad things. They're going to blow stuff up. They're going to stab people. They're going to shoot people. It doesn't matter if they're black, white, Latino, Asian, Muslim, Christian, Jewish, whatever. Bad people are going to do bad things, and people with a bad ideology are going to do bad things. And if you're protecting people with a bad ideology, this is what England's doing, and this is what liberals and some progressives do in the United States. They look down on good people. They look down on people that are happy and healthy and love their country, and they look up to people that have a horrible skewed ideology. And then when a good person or somebody tries to raise awareness to a bad person, not only do they not pay attention to it, but they penalize the good person, they penalize the activist, they penalize the journalist, they arrest the journalist, and then they put the rapist on a pedestal. And a pedophile's on a pedestal. And I'm not saying all people of a certain race, like, they say in America, oh my God, a bunch of white kids are shooting up stuff. Yeah, it is. It's a bunch of white kids doing mass shootings. We should look into that. We shouldn't blame the entire race of white people, but it's like, why are white kids shooting it up? Is it mental illness? Is it like lack of parenthood? Is it, what is it? Let's look at all the options. And same with in the UK, if there's Muslims raping people and it's not, and white, whatever, just explore. I'm not saying to blame everybody of that religion or blame all white people or blame all Muslim people, but explore what's going on. Like, why is that happening? Because there's billions of people in the world and you don't want all of them in your country. And what England did in the last 5 and 6 years, and what Sweden and what Germany did in the last 5 and 6 years, is they took in hundreds of thousands of people that they probably shouldn't have took in, and they didn't vet them, and they didn't try to figure out if they were really from Syria, or they really have good intentions, or they really want to integrate in society, and a lot of them don't want to. So that's probably a large reason why knife crime's going up, mixed in with the fact that they're like pushing mental illness onto people. And I don't say that to be happy about it. I think mental illness is a real thing. Some people can't help it. It's horrible. It's terrible. But there is a self-inflicted mental illness that's going on in the UK and in America, and it's not even it's not even the fault of refugees. It's the fault of like white liberal people who are just so privileged that they can't fathom what it's like to live in a worse country, and they push this ideology onto people of no self-awareness, no self-accountability, no common sense, no love, no gratefulness, no appreciation. I'll take a good Muslim person that prays 7 times a day and loves America and England over a white liberal who hates everybody and wants to, prop up a bunch of rapists who want to come to America and England and, hurt good Muslim people and good Christian people and good American people. I'll take someone that's grateful. At least they're grateful. At least they pray all the time. Like, I have no disrespect for religion, but it's like the liberal that wants to really like penalize the good people and just bring in loads of terrible people because they play this game of identity politics. They don't look at character. They don't look at like the core of who they are. That's what I want, and that's what a lot of people, and even conservatives at the core of it, they just want good people. They don't care what race or religion or gender you are. They're not racist. I mean, there's obviously some racists on both sides. That's a personal issue, but people want good people. There's nothing wrong with that, to want good people to live around you and make sure that people are law-abiding and they love America and they love England. But people born and raised in America and England don't even love America and England. So they have this obsession with saying, if you're a woman, there's nothing you can do wrong, you're oppressed, and women are great and women can never make mistakes, and if you're a Muslim, you're perfect and everybody's against you and there's nothing you can do wrong. If you're black or you're Latino or you're gay or transgender, there's nothing you can do that's wrong and you're perfect and everybody should, everybody's wrong, and it's the men from America and England that are destroying your lives. And I'm not saying that there's not elements of truth in this. I do think that, we need to stand up for our women and the LGBT community and, what I'm saying, people of all religions and races. And I'm not saying not to do that. But the liberal and the English mindset and the extremist, I'll call it extremist because it truly is. It makes absolutely no sense. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X would, throw up at the sight of these people. They're not liberals. they want to put a blanket on it and just say, hey, if you do this, we're just going to bring in hundreds of thousands of people. We're not going to check out who they are because they're this religion and we love them regardless. If you're a woman and you're gay and you're transgender, we love you and there's nothing you can do that's wrong. So just do everything, make mistakes, blame everybody for your problems, and everything's going to work out. Wait a second, why is knife crime up? Well, it's because of your ideology that you're spreading to people. It doesn't matter what religion you are. It doesn't matter what race or gender you are, but everybody should have a few things. They should have common sense. They should have self-accountability and self-responsibility and the ability to realize, okay, that's wrong in society, but I have an influence over that. There is things that I can do that could make the world a better place. I need to reflect on myself. I need to not be able to make mistakes. I can't blame everybody for all my problems. I can't blame Trump and conservatives for everything that I do and be, unable to admit when I make a mistake. But this is not what they do. So of course there's going to be mass shootings on the rise. Of course there's going to be knife crime on the rise because they're trying to flood the country with bad people. They're ignoring the problems in the Middle East. They're ignoring the problems in Mexico. I have family from Mexico. I have 2 siblings and a stepfather from Mexico. I have, friends from Mexico. I recently visited a border town in Arizona from Mexico, and the people there told me, one, they don't stress out about the border like people here. But they told me that Mexico, and I know because, Tijuana, I've been paying attention to the news, it's gotten worse, okay? It's not easy. 10 years ago, you could cross the border and go to Mexico, and you could, be somewhat safe and have a good time. Not so much anymore. You could still go to Mexico and have a good time and be safe in certain areas, but it's gotten significantly more violent. It's gotten significantly more deadly. There's significant more crime at border towns on the Mexican side. So it's just common sense. Has nothing to do with Mexicans. Has nothing to do with immigrants or Latinos or illegal. This is the liberal solution to it. It's they're all good people. There's no way that. Then go live in Mexico. And I don't say that in a mean way, but it's if you love Mexico so much and you hate America so much and you love the Middle East so much and you hate England so much, just go live there. Go live in Iraq. Go live in Afghanistan. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not hating on it. Just do it. If you really hate America, go live in Mexico and find out for yourself. A lot of areas, they're not as safe. So the common sense approach for England and the United States would be hey, I have love for Muslims. I have love for Americans. I have love for everybody. But, I have love for Mexicans, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But hey, let's figure it out, because if their crime's increasing and their murder rate's increasing, we don't want that to come into the United States. So maybe we should up border security, and maybe we should have a temporary travel ban to try to figure out what's going on. And then, you know what I'm saying? We'll figure it out from there. But they don't do that. They say, no, let's let tens of millions of illegal immigrants come in. We don't care if they're gang members. We don't care if they're cartels. And we don't care if they're murderers and rapists, because President Trump offended us with his words. So, since he offended us, we're going to act like we're better people by just putting a blanket statement and letting everyone in. Hey, let's let in millions of refugees. Oh my goodness, the crime is going up. How could knife crime go up? Well, it's a failing ideology and has nothing to do with race, has nothing to do with religion, has nothing to do with gender, has nothing to do with xenophobia. It has everything to do with common sense, self-accountability, and being able to have a full scope approach to your solution. So, I'm just getting a little tired of this, let's dull the knives and let's ban that. And once again, I'm not blaming anybody in particular. Overall, it's an ideology and a societal thing where we're literally just making the problems worse. That's why it's sad. It's 2018. Knife crime in England should be lower than ever. You know what I'm saying? Mass shootings in America should be lower than ever, but they're not. We were down, and now it's going up. And I know why. It's a full-scale approach. It's because we're not paying attention to our borders. We're not paying attention to our refugee process. We're not paying attention to Americans of every race. We're not solving our own internal problems. We're bringing in more people who are going to make the problems worse, and it's not their fault. I'm not blaming, it's all immigrants or refugees' fault. That's not true. I'm blaming Americans. It's our fault. It's our media. It's our education system. It's our indoctrination of the kids for telling them there's nothing you can do that's wrong. The reason I turned out this way, or who knows really, but it's my mom, you know what I'm saying? My parents instilling decent morals. They might have been a little mean at parts, and sometimes it's you could be a little nicer or whatever, But they made sure I had respect. Like when I went over somebody's house, they said, if you sleep over, fold the sheets and make it nice and make sure that you're nice and don't stay too long. And you know what I'm saying? They didn't tell me, hey, go there and do whatever you want and make mistakes and blame everybody for your problems and make sure that, whatever happens, that you're just stubborn and egotistical and everything everyone else is. They didn't tell me that. That's why I have like basic morals and common sense, because they instilled that upon me. But they're working to destroy that. They're trying to destroy the minds of women. They're trying to tell women there's nothing you can do is wrong. You're oppressed. Everything's terrible. Like you should hate America and England. They're telling, people of certain ethnicities and certain genders that, there's nothing you can do that's wrong. Everything's that person's fault. And, nothing matters that you do. It's never your accountability. It's always someone else's. It's always cry about everything and complain about everything and, sit in literally the most privileged era in society and blame everybody and sit on your computer and cell phone and get Uber Eats and, get food delivered to you and cry about how oppressed you are. I mean, this is the ideology that they're spilling onto people. And when you watch the news, they hit you with fake news, they hit you with depressing news, they hit you with all of these disgusting, terrible things. They twist everything to make it look like Trump's like Godzilla stomping over the world, which is not at all remotely true. And then, they freak you out. And then in the commercials, they sell you depression pills. And the side effect of the depression pills is literally the side effect of suicidal thoughts. So what do you think happens if you're making someone depressed? You're making someone hate America, you're making people hate England, you're making people hate their neighbors, you're making people hate the color of their skin, you're making people hate spirituality, and then you make them super depressed and super negative, and then give them mind-altering psychotropic pills that literally alter their mind and numb their mind, and then they're playing video games where it's not like Pong, where it's like back and forth and it doesn't look real. They're playing games like Call of Duty that are actual simulations of actual shooting. The footsteps are actual, the shots are actual, the trajectory is actual. It's not like playing James Bond on N64. It's like literal, it's like a simulation of what it's like to be at war. I mean, you're watching the movies nowadays, and they're not old movies that look fake. They're 100% real. They look real. So it's a combination of everything. I'm not blaming video games and movies, but let's be honest, folks. It's not Pong and it's not James Bond like looking fake. It's actual simulation. We're literally almost entering like a 3D simulation world state, and we're like, oh no, it couldn't be video games. It couldn't be the psychotropic pills. I'm not saying it's one or the other, but it's all of those. It's terrible ideology. You're giving a failed ideology of like, let's dull the knives. Let's blame the NRA. Let's give our kids pills and make them super depressed and make them think that Godzilla's taking over. And then let's let them sit at home all day playing like active war simulation games. I wonder how that could possibly, and then numb their brain with pills. I wonder if that has some sort of effect. No, it couldn't be. It's got to be the NRA, even though they've never committed a mass shooting. It's got to be Tommy Robinson. I mean, God forbid he live stream outside of like a bunch of rapists and try to give it attention. It's got to be his fault. It's got to be conservatives and Republicans. I mean, it's a failed ideology. It's totally backwards. It's totally twisted. And please pay attention to England. I would love to see some people on the left talk about it. They're dulling kitchen knives. This is not a joke. This is not a conspiracy. This is an actual article in the Telegraph. The London Prime Minister or Mayor, whatever you want to call him, he's tweeting out, we got to get knives off the street. You have English police, so proud that they're collecting knives and wrenches and scissors, and they're confiscating them for people, and crime's still not going out, and people are robbing jewelry stores with machetes because it's not the gun, it's not the knife, it's not the inanimate object. It's the medication, it's the terrible failed media, it's the delusional fake liberal ideology of complete lack of self-awareness and absolutely no common sense. If you want to see people wake up to the truth, check out Elon Musk. I've shouted him out a few times. He's going back and forth with mainstream media journalists, and you have to look at how pompous and arrogant these mainstream media journalists are. Elon Musk literally just says, hey, I want to make a Yelp of journalism so people can rate journalists, and the mainstream media is fake. And look how they're treating him. They're freaking out. They think that they're gods. The people from the New York Times and the Washington Post and CNN and MSNBC, they think they are gods of society and gods of journalism. They think they are the all-being bearers of truth. And they look how they're treating liberal superstar Elon Musk, who's 20 times as smart as them. Look how they're treating him. They're talking down to them. They're hating on him. They're calling him right-wing. They're calling him Republican Trump supporter. And he's absolutely none of the sorts. He's just telling the truth about the media. That's what I try to explain to everybody. They're not real liberals. If you're a liberal, you're gonna inflict this totalitarian ideology and think that you're helping gay people and Latino people and women and stuff, but you're really not. They're using women, children, and social issues as a scapegoat to push forward this totalitarianism police state of, like, arrest people for filming journalism, ban knives and dull your kitchen knives, and push this failed ideology onto people, and then blame Elon Musk because he tells the truth at the media. I mean, you have to look at Elon Musk's Twitter. Look how pompous these CNN and Washington Post journalists are, because they think they're God. They think that they own the media. They think if you question them, how dare you even question them? If you question me, do it. Go ahead. Question what I'm saying. Look it up. Say, Anomaly, I think you're wrong about this. I think you're right about this. Hey, Anomaly, check this out. That's great. I'm just telling you something. You know what I'm saying? Consider it. That's all I say. I don't care if you question me. I don't care if you research other stuff that I'm not talking about. I hope you do. I hope you read other news sources, and I hope you read the hundreds of stories that I don't talk about because I don't have the time to talk about. But you look at these New York Times and Washington Post journalists, they're like besides themselves that someone of Elon Musk's stature on the liberal side can dare question their horrible and disgusting and twisted, goofy reporting that is literally bottom of the barrel pathetic. That's why they're losing elections. That's why they're losing media support, because they are straight up pathetic. They are not journalists. They are absolutely doing bottom of the barrel work, but they don't want to be questioned. They don't want to be put to the test. They don't want to be rated. They think they're gods because they've been supported for so long by politicians, and Barack Obama built them up and Hillary Clinton built them up, and the second that Facebook doesn't want to play along with Hillary Clinton, look what she says at Harvard. She says, I wish I was the CEO of Facebook so I can further control it. I'm not joking, folks. This is why I told you a month ago, yeah, Mark Zuckerberg's not perfect. Mark Zuckerberg makes mistakes, but don't delete your Facebook. One, I have a big following on Facebook, so it would really ruin my career, just being honest. I have a slight bias for that reason. But also, I'm dead serious that a lot of people won't talk about the reason the media is going at Mark Zuckerberg. The reason that Mark Zuckerberg is in front of the parliament and Congress, it's not because he's the worst. It's because he's the best. And he's clearly not perfect. He's clearly not doing great things. But why do you think Hillary Clinton wants to be the CEO? It's because they're not playing to the extent that they want them to play. And this should be a wake-up call, because Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook are already so left-leaning liberal, but it's never enough, guys. They want a total police state totalitarianism. They want to be the gods of information. And the second you're Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg, who've literally been pandering liberal their whole lives, the second that you don't go far enough and you're not extremist enough, they literally want to steal your company from you. They want to manage it. They want to control it. And they want to shut up Elon Musk. Shut up, Elon Musk. Go build rockets and build Teslas. Don't you dare tell the truth about the media, or we'll try to destroy your life. This is what they do, guys. It's not just Trump. It's not just me. It's not just progressive liberals who are a little bit more honest than regular liberals. It's not, it's not Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. They want total information control. They want to control Facebook because Facebook is not working to the extent that they want it to work. So I told people, everyone that deleted their Facebook that thinks they're activists, you're an activist in the same way that the March for Our Lives people are activists. It's media-controlled, politician-controlled activism. Deleting your Facebook is not going to solve all the world's problems. You're helping the Hillary agenda. You're helping the extremist agenda. They want you to delete your Facebook. That's not, oh man, we're really sticking it to these liberal media companies. No. Why do you think Hillary Clinton wants to be the CEO of Facebook? It's because Facebook is better than Google, and they're better than Twitter. It's by default because Twitter and YouTube are so bad, but Facebook's not playing suit, so they want to take it. Elon Musk's not playing suit. They want to take him too. So overall, I just want to say, England is trying to, propose, or a judge is trying to propose that they dole down knives and make sure your kitchen knives aren't dull. And this is not out of the blue. I mean, literal politicians and police, verified police Twitters are literally bragging about taking knives away from people. This is their idea in England. That's happening. There's a 2014 AZ Central article that went viral that everyone tried to pin on Donald Trump, but it was really from 2014. So exposing the hypocrisy. Do you really care about it? Do you care about women and children in cages? Do you care about immigrants? Or do you just care about pushing the ideology that everything is Donald Trump's fault when we know it's not? And then overall the media and the journalistic stuff, the reason I do this, and I repeat myself sometimes, and, I tend to say the same thing over and over again, at the end, is because this is like the core of it. I could talk about my feelings. I could talk about my opinions. I could tell you how mad I am about the news, but overall, there's a spiritual war going on. There's an ideological war going on, and there's an information war going on. And I don't care if people agree with me. I don't care if you're liberal or conservative, but I'm fighting for freedom of speech. I'm fighting for personal liberties, and I'm fighting against the people that are the wolves in sheep's clothing that will pretend like they're liberal. They might pretend like they're progressive. They might tell you they're going to give you your health care or your education, or they love Latino people in the LGBT community more than you love them. They'll tell you this, but their true goal at the end of the day is total information control. So that's really why I tend to repeat a lot, and why I talk about self-accountability and loving yourself and changing yourself to change the world, because that's what really matters. It's going to be an awakening, a spiritual and philosophical awakening of millions of people. It's not going to be people in politics. It's not going to be these fake news journalists. It's not going to be the celebrities. It's not going to be the television news hosts. It's going to have to be all of us coming to this conclusion and changing ourselves, changing our communities, and not letting these people pander to us and then use our emotions to literally start this huge grab for all of our personal liberties and all of the information, and that's what they're doing. Thank you guys so much. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless America. God bless England. God bless the Middle East. God bless South America. God bless Mexico. And God bless the world. God bless everywhere. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I hope you have a good Memorial Day. Enjoy it, and pay respect to the legends who have sacrificed for us. And I'm going to post my links below. If you'd like to follow me on Instagram, please do so. My Instagram is DreamRare, DreamRare. My Twitter is Legendary Energy, spelled like that. And my donor box link is below. I'll probably post my Patreon too. If you would like to support, I appreciate you very, very gratefully. My laptop broke this month, which is fine. I got a new computer that's a lot faster, and I got RAM for it. So thank you to people supporting on DonorBox. I appreciate you even if you don't, but that has really helped me, especially this month, because I had to buy a whole new computer, which is pretty expensive, but able to do it, staying blessed, working hard, and continuing to build. Hopefully in the future, I'll be doing more shows. I'm writing a book. My book is almost done. I'm excited to get that out to you guys, and I'm working on trying to get around to the U.S. so I can speak in public and possibly get booked for some big debates this year, so I could put my ideology and my message to the test, like I'm trying to. Nobody really wants to debate me. Every day on Twitter, I'm like, hey, who wants to debate? Who wants to talk? And they all run away, but it's okay. We're going to make it happen. Thank you guys. Have a good day.